So I haven't done a video in a couple days, and I wanted to kind of say something. We're supposed to go on a podcast, Kelly and I, this evening. So I wanted to do this. I was at the gym and thinking about what I can talk about. And one of them that I think is very important, and I'm going to talk based on my personal experiences. And that is being able to remain friends with somebody you've been intimate with, or had a really close connection with, and something happened between you guys. And I'm, like I said, I'm using these as personal example, or using personal examples to explain this. I think the most important thing is how did you, how did the relationship end, or how did it break off? Did it break off on good terms, on speaking terms, on understanding? Or was there a fight, resentment, bitterness, unforgiveness? It really kind of depends on your situation and with each individual relationship. I'll give some examples of a no, and that would be with my ex-husbands. The reason why I could not remain friends with them, well, especially the last two, was because they were both abusive and manipulative to both my children and I. So there's absolutely no trust there whatsoever, and no feelings there. There were no apologies. Nothing was ever fixed with our relationship. I lost all trust in them in any aspect. And that was the same with their father. I know at one time I thought we might get back together, but I realized that he was still in the same place he was when we got divorced. So I was like, this is not going to work, even on, with a friendship. So those would be no's. Someone who is abusive, with you or your kids. Like there's, you have to kind of, give up hope on that. An example for a yes would be like, for instance, my first boyfriend, Dan, he's on my friends list on Facebook. We've been friends on and off, since I was, I broke it off with him when I was 16 and, 15. So yeah, I mean, I was a kid, and, we've spoken since then. The last time we spoke on the phone was 2015, and and I know that I can call him for advice if I need to, and he can call me for advice if he needs to. We're acquaintances. He's on my Facebook. So I think that is a type of relationship that can end in friendship and remain friends. Of course, he's married now, so it could never go further than a friendship, because that's just, both of us, we have that much respect for one another. And then, the main thing is communication. I think that with friendships, you have to communicate anyway. And if there were hard feelings in a relationship prior, then those things have to come out to make that first step. You have to, you have to talk about it. You have to have understanding of what happened. You have to have forgiveness, apologizing if you hurt somebody. It's hard because a lot of times we don't want to come to terms with what we've done to somebody. And that kind of happened with me. And, over the last couple of years, there was a lot of confusion surrounding somebody who I felt was a strong soul connection. And I was never intimate with her. She's a female. I don't think it could have ever, as strong as my feelings were for her, could have ever made it to that point. Because it's just not me. I can't bring myself to be that way. I'm not bisexual. At one time I thought I probably was, but, it come down to it, I don't think I could do that. But her and I are, we're close on a regular basis in proximity with one another. So it's made it hard to, okay, what did I do wrong? And my mind is always going deeper and deeper and deeper into the situation, the scenarios, and what could have been done differently, what the communication part, things like that. Um, you know, I think the main thing is just communicating how you feel, communicating any apologies, or asking for forgiveness. I think that's the main important thing. And if you left on good terms and there's still a connection there, it could possibly turn into a friendship. And, the main thing is, getting past the hurt, which is, the distrust or animosity or resentment, and learning to forgive, and then being able to apologize for things that you might have said or done to hurt somebody, and then working on the trust. Trust can't be built from experience, can't be built if you don't apologize and you don't get those feelings of resentment out, and letting people know how they hurt you, apologizing for how they hurt you, forgiving them or for how you hurt them, forgiving them for things that they might have done. And it's super important if you want to remain friends with somebody, if those strong feelings are still there, it might be hard to just remain friends with somebody. It would be super hard to just be friends and be able to communicate without those feelings getting, coming to surface. And I've experienced that like recently. So I know there's a lot of hurt in that relationship. There's, for me, I'm thinking in my mind, what did I do? What could I have done better? Or even trying to, communicate or find a place to communicate, as far as, inner peace. So right now, it's just the forgiveness part, what went wrong, what happened, and being able to, stand up and apologize and, get healing in that area. It's super important, especially when you have invested in somebody, whether that be an emotional investment. This particular person was an extremely emotional investment, a physical investment, and that is also, highly important, to be able to get those feelings and hurts and things behind you so that you can work on the trust part and whatever the relationship looks like. And if not, at least And that's why I've always been an advocate for talking things out, not leaving on bad terms. You don't want to leave on bad terms because it kind of leaves you in a cliffhanger, and you're like, so then if you're in a small town like me and you're, see this person on a regular basis, it's hard as hell, especially when there's still that connection. So forgiveness and communication, apologizing, just being brave enough to come out and say, hey, let's work this out. Let's figure this out. I just want to get past this part. If we see a friendship or whatnot, that's awesome. But if not, then at least we know, at least we've, are able to forgive and apologize and all of that. And so we're not on bad terms ever. Like, I don't ever want to be on bad terms with somebody. And then it might be hard to have a friendship with somebody that you still have strong connection to as well. Because you can't just turn off your heart. I mean, it's hard. I can't. I mean, maybe I'm learning how to. Maybe this is all teaching me, something with, the connections, the recent connections I've had with a couple of people. Maybe I have to, and that's what it's going to take. But I just, it's hard to tell your heart no. And, when you feel that connection with somebody and it's hard. I know time, it might take, might take time, but I think just getting on terms of apologizing and forgiveness, and then building that trust, if that's what you both agree to do. It has to be agreement for both. It can't be one person trying to build something on their own when it comes to two people, and that's with any relationship. It takes both. So, just those are my experiences with with any type of like love relationship. And it's, I can think back and remember the times I was in love with somebody and had that very strong emotional connection with them. And it's very few. And those same people I see regularly. So it's super hard to, to be near them without feeling some connection, and then wanting to be at least on speaking terms. It's going to take that forgiveness and apologizing, and then the trust building, and just being on the same page about things. So anyway, I hope I didn't bore you guys. Kelly and I are supposed to do a podcast tonight, and hopefully she's not too extremely tired. I know that she was fighting Atlanta traffic. Lucky her. I remember those days. But anyway, so if we say we're going to do a podcast, there might be times where we don't do one, but hopefully she'll be rested enough to do it tonight. So, and she's 3 hours ahead of us here in Arizona. So anyway, I hope this video made sense and I helped somebody. Just, communicate. Be brave. What can you lose? All right. Have a good night.